Alright. Alright, looks like I'm live. Could you check my channel and see if it actually... Oh, God. There's going to be a little bit of me. Could you see if it's live yet?
Yes.
Alright. If you have to give it a second, I might have to give it a second.
We'll just search live on your channel.
I'm streaming it on YouTube, yeah. I'm trying to.
Check.
Alright. If anybody rewatches this later, or just catches in the stream early, I'm just doing some technical work, trying to make sure everything's working okay. I did as much technical work as I really could in the beginning. Alright, I'm live. Cool. Perfect. Alright. Alright, so alright, everybody. Welcome to stream. I'm here with my good friend Admiral Shadowz. Alright, I have his link to his channel in the description if you want to check him out. He's a pretty cool guy. I'd highly suggest you check him out. He's way more active on YouTube than I am. Yeah. Alright. Sometimes you get pretty active over summer. I usually just kind of say, you know what, I feel like editing a video now. He does a lot of live streams. I actually do mostly videos, which is why I upload so very little, because I very rarely get motivated enough to do so. This is just a fun little hobby for me, man. I just do this for fun. A way to send out a creative output.
I could never.
Yeah.
Because eventually I would have to start editing. I try to edit things as possible.
Okay.
Well, think about it. Okay. On my PS4, that's why I always live stream on PS4. I stream straight to capture.
Alright.
I'm just like, why put in the extra work if I can just, everything's there. Titles, description, all there.
Alright. That's a fair point. Alright. So, as the title shows, we're going to be talking about some gaming stuff. We might get into some music stuff. We might just end up talking about memes for 20 minutes.
20 seconds. If anyone knows what that date is, I am sorry at the same time.
Oh, God. Oh, crap. I realized that I should have done a link to the one co-op channel we have in the description as well. That would have been good.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that would have been good. I'm not going to pause the stream now to do it. I don't have a dual monitor kind of thing where I can just switch over to the other monitor and have this still up. So, yeah. Alright. So, video games. We're obviously both fans of them, if you check out our channel. So what kind of games do you play, Josh, just to get a base for conversation?
So me, I like shooters, but at the same time, I like stuff like just stream. Check that out.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
I just live stream which, if you've ever seen Detroit Become
Sean. Sean.
Which I talked about in the live stream. All made by the same company. Very story. Very nice games. Phenomenal.
Okay, if you don't get that, just look up Heavy Rain Sean. You'll find the meme. It's one of the older memes. I don't even know if they called it a meme back then. Was like meme culture around then? It probably was. I'm just... Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. It's one of those, like, classic memes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I saw someone say that.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
So I like story. I also like to just sometimes sit down and shoot.
Alright. Of course. Okay. Ooh, that was terribly close to a voice crack. And by pointing that out, everybody's gonna be like, ha ha, nerd. I don't care.
Yes. Yes.
That's a nerd.
Why are you running? So sorry, in the background, I was playing a little bit. Stop running. Stop.
Okay, so back on topic. Okay, so you're a big fan of story-driven games. I'm less story-driven games, although I will play a story-driven game or a campaign every once in a while, even though I know those aren't the same thing. I just don't do it all the time. When I am playing on PC, I'll usually play a real-time strategy game, and then I'll wake up, and then I'll realize 7 hours later that it's 7 hours later, and I'm just like, oh, what have I done? Yeah, pretty much. On consoles, I play a lot of GTA. That's a big thing for me. I play a lot of free roam games that give me a lot of choice in how I do things. I like being able to decide what I do, I guess.
See, that's why I like certain story. Like, it's a choose your own story. Where there's a story, but how you decision changes the outcome.
Okay, so you like kind of like Telltale style games.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Another game that we both play. No surprise here, Rainbow Six Siege. That's one that we play. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do something. But yeah.
I used to be a big Battlefield player. Like, I played Battlefield 4, and as soon as I started playing the multiplayer, I really loved it. I love the ability to, like, drive a tank through crap and just blow everything up. And actually, it felt more real than Call of Duty did.
That's personally why I started to dislike Call of Duty, and I started Battlefield because it just felt.
Okay.
Whereas it's just run into a shoot something, get a bullet. Or Battlefield. And take out still wasn't easy because
Oh, yeah.
it took, in my opinion, skill.
Yeah. So, I have recently been playing a lot more Call of Duty for personal reasons, mainly to beat my girlfriend at it. And I do have appreciation for the style of game it is. It's quick-paced, it's adrenaline-based, it's more based on reaction time than necessarily having to aim. And I do kind of appreciate that. Battlefield I liked more so because it was more immersive. It was cooler. Like, you didn't just have to. The more players that there were, it was pretty cool. I was actually one of the few people that liked Battlefield Hardline, although I think it was. I think the reason why I liked it is because it was a mixture between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and like it kind of had that same more fast-paced action than say Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1, but with no, I'm not gonna say Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1's got some pretty fast pace to it. Battlefield more so than Battlefield 4 did, and it. Oh god, there's a bunch of sirens going on outside. Oh boy. Anyway, and stuff like that. But I didn't even really mind. Okay, so I'm going to start complaining a lot about some of these original gamers because the amount of complaining about stuff that I don't. Now, I can understand like certain things like Battlefield Hardline. In the beta, the hit registration was awful. Like, I can understand that. And at launch, hit registration was awful. And there were times in which there were some glitches. But for the most part, I actually think it was a pretty decent game. I actually didn't have too many glitches. The only one that really stands out to me right now of any glitch-wise was there's this one recurring glitch. And it would happen about every time that they launched a DLC, I believe. It would just be this glitch where, like, you would just move forward, then get teleported back, and then every time you went that same path, you would get teleported back a couple feet until eventually you'd have to take another path.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah. That's really the only glitch that I remember, and if you're saying, well, look, it was a glitch. Other games have glitches, too.
Oh, yeah.
Cool your jets. Cool your jets. So that was another thing. Another thing is Call of Duty World War II. Everybody's complaining about Call of Duty World War II. Well, not everybody. There's a lot of people that enjoy it. A lot of people complained about the stupid headquarters system, and I can honestly understand that a bit. But they corrected the issue, and they made it so that you can completely skip over it and act like it doesn't exist. Right, I do the same. Purely because I don't mind it per se. Actually, I think it's a really cool idea. I just don't like people enough to go into the middle of the thing and start opening loot boxes enough.
Right. For me, with it wasn't the that screen. I don't like sitting there. There's some days I just want to sit down and go do something.
So that's why I stopped playing GTA.
I don't have to sit. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I stopped playing.
Oh my god. Alright.
But it mainly came down. I don't like it because I would go sit through the screen, have to sit through the screen, sit through the queue to get rather than just
Alright. Okay. So let me clarify something a little bit here, because we are talking about things that are not great about Call of Duty World War II, but more what I was talking about is the people that say it's the worst Call of Duty ever. Like, there are people that talk about it like that, and I'm just like, why? I think that the game's actually, it's pretty fun. They do try to keep it balanced. So it's not even like all of the other Call of Duty games, specifically Black Ops 2, where if you had an SMG, you could outgun anybody. Like, I just say Black Ops 2, because that's the main one where I remember having SMGs being really overpowered. I was also trash at Black Ops 2, so that's beside the point. Well, until relatively recently, I was pretty trash at Black Ops 2. But, I think Headquarters was a decent idea that was executed alright. My only real criticism about the Headquarters system is I wish they would have made it a little bit easier to figure out how to get into a match. Because, like, from Headquarters, it's sometimes a little bit complicated. Well, at least it seemed that way. It was... Everything else was a little bit easier than actually entering a match itself. That's my thing. I thought the gun range was cool. I thought the whole walking up to the quartermaster was cool. I thought the whole ambiance of it was really cool. Although I don't particularly like being around people enough to justify being in it, even if I can't hear their voices. Oh, I'm so antisocial.
It's okay.
Alright. But in the end, what really matters for a game is if it's fun. And the multiplayer is fun.
Especially like I love nothing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool too.
It's like it's just a lot of games they're where it just wasn't executed. It's like super executed.
Yeah, like, the game's fun. So I think the game's more fun than other entries in the series.
Yes.
But that's beside the point. A little bit about the zombies. Any thoughts on that? Do you think that's good zombies, bad zombies, on the level of Treyarch zombies, worse than Treyarch zombies?
If I had to rate it scale, 7.
All right.
I it's good compared to say I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Its origins is still it's fine.
Okay.
In zombies as a whole. Relative comparison to that, I'd give it a 7.
All right. So if you had to compare in general enjoyment of the game to another zombies map specifically, less so game, what map do you think it is closest to, aside in actual enjoyment wise, rather than style of map?
Enjoyment wise, I'd say Town Zombies.
Really? Okay.
Because getting, say, pack is not hard.
Right.
Because with in some maps, it's kind of
All right. All right. Well, I'm going to give my own answer to that question then. I would say that it is it's more fun than a map like Kino der Toten. I believe that's the first one from Black Ops. Yeah, because Nacht der Toten is first one in World at War. Kino der Toten is first one in that. I'd say it's. I personally enjoyed Exo Zombies. I know I'm one of the few ones who actually. I don't even know if I'd say few. I know that it was generally amongst the zombies playing community, it was considered not as good as Treyarch Zombies. I had a pretty similar comparison of fun enjoyment wise to that. Alright, Josh. Pretty much I was just saying that I enjoyed it about the same as, say, Exo Zombies. From Advanced Warfare. Alright. Yeah, I heard you on Mute Your Mic. Okay. Which makes sense because they're by the same developer. I think. Wait, are they? Are they? Don't worry about it. Someone will correct us in the comments and tell us that we're scrubs or something. I mean, we are, but like, we don't take it so seriously that like, specifically with Call of Duty, other games, that's a different story. That we get pissed over. Like,
Siege.
yeah, we've both gotten pissed at Siege.
Siege is just annoying. Not to get off the subject.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did your dog bite you or something?
No, it's annoying.
Oof. Alright. So, since we're talking about Siege again, let's, do you wanna, is there anything else you want to talk about Call of Duty, or can we kind of transition into Siege? Do you think that'll be okay? Alright, let's talk about Siege, because that is that's kind of a big game right now, and it's been so for a while, since it came out. For good reason, I'd say. I actually ended up being the one that bought you Siege. Yeah. And, so, that was pretty cool. Alright, so what are your thoughts about Ubisoft and the last couple operators to be released, and specifically balance-wise, because that's a big thing that people are talking about. Well, have been talking about.
So, last couple of
Right, so the last two that were released were Maestro and Alibi. Before that, it was Finca and Lion, and then I think the ones before that it was Dekebi and what's his face? Korean Batman. What's his name? Oh God, the guy whose parents both died. Vigil. Okay, Vigil. All right.
So I would say Stro mainly. I'm not saying he should get. I'm saying if they. At least.
Okay, I do.
So what would you say about
All right. Okay, so Maestro does take. It actually has this bit of a learning curve, but it's not that big. Because he has a weird recoil pattern where, like, it's kind of like the hammer from Black Ops 2. I hate to compare it to Call of Duty, but, like, it has a similar thing. Except instead of dealing with rate of fire, it has to do with recoil. The first couple of the first shots with his gun has, like, a really crazy recoil spread. Meaning, it almost tries to get you to pre-fire. It's almost like it's trying to get you to, yeah, it's almost trying to get you to pre-fire. And I think that if you are in an engagement, trying to pre-fire, I think if you're getting in an engagement and, like, you ADS at somebody and then you start shooting at the same time, you actually are at a greater disadvantage than most people realize. But again, it's got a jacked rate of fire, it's got pretty good damage, has 81 rounds per magazine, has an ACOG. I would still say that I think they could really, if they took away the janky recoil off the first shots, but then or just increased vertical, and then just increased vertical recoil over the whole thing, I think they could balance that justifiably. Although I was actually, when I started this point, I was actually attempting to get onto the topic of Ubisoft and just their most recent operators being balanced when they come out in general, not so much which one needs a nerf the most right now. So, do you think they've been releasing a lot of overpowered operators? Do you think that they've actually been, or do you think people are just overhyping their abilities? Would you say?
Um, I
Okay.
it's tough to say. It's mainly it's tough to say. I, um, I don't know what are your thoughts. Maybe you start out.
All right. From what I've seen, and from the deaths that I've suffered at some of the hands of these new operators, I really think Ubisoft is really. I really think that they have a problem with releasing overpowered operators. Um, let's take it for instance. I'm gonna give my best example from personal experience. Maestro. Um, like my third match with him, I got 4 kills in one round. Um, yeah, his LMG. It's the fact that it has an ACOG makes it really potent. I think once you learn to control recoil, which for a while actually after they changed it, which I hated them for, I really had a hard time dealing with, and I've just recently actually got back into the habit of using ACOGs. So there's that. But so he has one really beastly primary. Actually, the more I think about it, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between Maestro and Ella. Maestro has a gun that has a really high rate of fire, decent damage, a very high magazine capacity, but then they crank that up by giving him an ACOG. Ella has a gun with a completely insane rate of fire, a 50-round magazine, and very little recoil. Now, I feel like they didn't make as much of a mistake because they made Maestro 3-speed. 1-speed, 3 armor, because having that agile of a roamer to just run out and just gun down half the enemy team and spray of bullets before anybody could headshot her, I think really was a bad balancing choice. But what I find funny is I think they actually were trying to get her to play more of an anchor role because of the nature of her mines. I think they kind of wanted her to play a more... Perhaps they were trying to create a hybrid, where like instead of being purely an anchor or purely a roamer, they were trying to get her to be a... they're trying to get her to kind of like leave the objective room, but then kind of camp in one room and use the Gersmont mines to disorient enemies and take them out easily. Yeah. Another one I'm going to talk about is Ducati. MK14. Would you say it's overpowered or not?
Um, hands.
All right. So I'm going to take that as a no because if we're talking about right hands, and it's not really the weapon itself, it's more the people handling it. I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Well, no, actually, I'm going to have a modicum of disagreement. I'm going to disagree somewhat, but agree other ways. On one hand, it is a semi-automatic rifle that does inherently make it less overpowered than if it were fully automatic. The lack of recoil is kind of BS, especially for the damage it gives. It was going to have an ACOG. That's nothing to complain about. It's A, an attacking operator, B, a DMR. It has to have an ACOG or else it's completely pointless. Although I might have seen somebody using it without an ACOG, but for the most part, everybody uses it as an ACOG. I'm also going to have to say the hipfire on that thing is surprisingly tight. But I'm not going to give that the overpowered card. I'm going to give its damage a little bit of an overpowered card. It's a little bit high for my taste. I think it should do more similar damage to Bucks, which isn't that much of a difference. But in the scope of a firefight, it's enough of a difference to make it different. It's low. Has enough of the damage is low enough on Buck's DMR to make it in which you can outgun him with it. But there's also a fairly high chance he's going to destroy you. If he sees you first, you're done. If you see him at the same time, it depends on his aim. If he's able to hit center mass, you might be in some trouble. And yeah. But alright. So what about Finka and Lion?
Came out. Saw I gotta
No, that one's Lion. Lion's the one that can, if you move, you see where I hit. He sees where you are. Finka's the other one that was released at the same time. She's the one that she's the one from Metal Gear Solid, Senator Anderson, or whatever isn't it, or whatever Armstrong Anderson, whatever it was. Nanomachines, son.
Oh, Nanomachines. It's interesting. As far as the things go, I'd say they're okay. I'd say I would say
Okay.
in combination, just clear. If their aim is more,
Yeah. It's just enough to get him through.
It's not, I would say.
Okay, I'm going to go for the argument that Finka is definitely overpowered as of right now, because she never got hit with a nerf. But I am going to say that Lion was nerfed out of being overpowered. I actually think that when they nerfed Lion, I think they actually did it perfectly. Because now, instead of being spotted for the duration of the scan, if you move at all, even on accident, you would be spotted for the duration of the scan, which has been cut in half. Now, only if you move does it happen. And I think that's good. Weapons-wise, I'm not quite sure if they ever hit Lion with a nerf. I believe they did. But I think his weapons were a little bit much when it came out. I think the tendency to add in drum mag having not terrible recoil guns needs to stop. I think Ubisoft needs to kind of look at their year one operators and kind of return to that habit, or base game operators. I think that'll help minimize the need for massive nerfs like they did to Lion. Because when he first came out, he was insane. I'm gonna say that Finka is still overpowered, though. I think her because pretty much what her thing does is it completely negates the need to be able to aim, and it gives you a health boost. It minimizes recoil, reduces ADS time. If you have any sort of like flashbang effect or anything like that, and you juice up with it, you can you pretty much completely negate any effect you have on you. Meaning that, and you can even negate the animation, which is a little bit longer than it maybe should be, in order to mean that it's a deadly combination. So I would say that she is overpowered, and I think that maybe give that health boost to the teammates, but only give all the other effects to you. Think, because the entire team gets the boost, which I think is completely absurd. Like when Doc shoots himself up with steroids, only Doc gets the effect. It's not like, oh yeah, everybody has 40 more health now.
Yeah. That's why I think it's
I would even say that she still might, on her own, be a little bit overpowered if it was just her. But I think it would be way closer to being balanced than it is now. So yeah. Now, I saw a meme, but this meme actually reflects truth very well. Pretty much all it is that is that the base game operator, it takes Sledge, and his special ability is that he has a hammer that he can use. And then, like, it advanced forward to, like, year 7, and, like, it had shoulder-mounted miniguns, auto-aim, detects enemies through walls, and it was just this huge list of things. And, like, it's just, like, they've gotten so complicated, and it's crazy.
used to be so simple.
Alright. Alright. I don't inherently agree that they need to keep it simple. I think that they just need to be careful about how they make the complicated stuff. Because the timing in which it's gone complicated and the adding of really overpowered characters has coincided. Like, when they make these characters with more technologically advanced gadgets, they tend to be more overpowered characters. Now, to be honest, I understand from a business point why they make these characters overpowered at launch. But as a gamer, I really wish that they would stop that. Like, I really wish that they would make it a balanced operator who wasn't trash. Like, yeah. Alright, he's got his mic muted because he's dealing with stuff in real life for a second. If there's anybody watching, I'd like you guys to push your opinions down in the comment section below. Since we're talking about seeds, let's talk about worst operators. I think that'll be vaguely interesting. See what you guys think are the most garbage tier operators in the game. I think that could be an interesting conversation to have. Alright, give me a moment, please. Alright, I'm back. So he's still gone. Once he gets back, we'll start talking about it. Let me see what's going on in the chat, if there's anything going on at all. Alright, stuff looks pretty dead right now. So yeah. Hopefully this might get picked up a bit later. I don't know. I got a nice little bottle of drink here. Ooh, boy. Alright, let's see what's going on the internet right now, because he's gone and he's still gone, and he might be gone for a while. So let's see what's going on, because I need something to talk about. Alright, I'm going to go on a little bit of a slight rant here, because we are going to go on a variety of topics. This has nothing to do really with Rainbow Six Siege, but I just got on Twitter, and one of those celebrity voice changer ads just popped up, and like, I really dislike the type of ad it is. But like, it's trying to be like it's from somebody personal, but like, it comes off as so not human, and it's just like, okay, whatever. You might as well just tell us straight to our face that it's you still. The companies try to make it seem like it's from a real person, but it just comes off so inhuman. Like, I just strongly dislike that type of ad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's bad. Alright, perfect. I was flopping. It was not pretty. I
But what did you start?
I talked a little bit about the stupid celebrity voice changer Twitter ad because I went on Twitter to find something to talk about, and that thing pisses me off every time I see it. Then I saw it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about that for a split second. It was a terrible segment. Like, I did terribly. But, yeah.
It's okay. So, uh,
I don't fucking know, man. Should we just go back to video games because we actually know stuff about that and like we're actually qualified to talk about it? All right, perfect. We were talking about Siege, and we should probably and we can keep talking about that and possibly find a way to transition out of there. Um,
say,
yeah.
okay. So, uh,
All right. I asked a question while you were gone. Best and worst operators. Now there's nobody here watching, and so
so
yeah.
uh, um, that's I. It's, that's
Yeah.
because it's just
All right. Can I rephrase my question real quick? All right. So when I say that, I mean more. This is not a unanimous worst and not a unanimous best. The question is more directly favorite operator, least favorite operator.
favorite.
You do main him.
Favorite statue.
Really? Least favorite stature?
It's from
Okay.
for someone. Uh, some people I
Alright. First of all, as an ex-Thatcher main, I'm very offended by this. Second of all, um, best operator. That's a hard question even for me. I'm not quite sure I've really thought this out. On defense, I've been maining Maestro a lot, but due to the janky recoil and slow ADS time, I actually think I'm going to go back to using some of my other defensive operators and more use Maestro in whenever I'll use him from time to time, I guess, but like I'm not going to main him as I have been for the past several weeks. I'm actually going to split the question up into a little bit. I'm going to go defensive and offensive operators. Even still, that's a harder question than it would seem. Defense is not that hard, because I wouldn't say Maestro is my favorite operator. I'd say Jaeger's my favorite defensive operator. I like his 416 a lot. It's great. Offensive operator, Buck's a good one. Buck's a good one, but IQ has a really similar playstyle to Jaeger, and although her weapons aren't as great as the 416, it definitely still has some similar characteristics to it, so that's something to think about for me personally. And there was Thatcher that I used to main, and I do really like his firearms. I think they're quite good. I am willing to use his abilities. I'm willing to work. The problem with that is that when I play alone, it's really useless because my team isn't communicating, and usually Thermite gets shot in the face after 30 seconds, so there's not much I can do. So I'm going to have to say it's between Buck or IQ. This would be a really easy decision, but Buck's AR has, like, really, really high recoil. But I'm still going to give it to him. I'm still going to say Buck's my favorite. IQ's close. Least favorite? I'm going to have to go with Castle, man. It's less so because of the operator himself, more so the people that play him. I really don't like Castle mains. I think they are obnoxious, and I think they can... I think instead of using them to block themselves in the room, I think it could be much more effectively used to kind of try to get the enemy to funnel in a direction that you want them to come in, rather than block everybody in a room. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Fuse loves Castle mains. Like, Fuse just loves them. Like, he just, well, yeah. Offense, that's a hard one, man. That's a hard one. I don't really know if I have a least favorite operator on offense. No, I wouldn't even say that, because with Recruit you can mate 70 shotgun.
No, I could rephrase that.
True that. I will concede the fact that Recruit has... If you want to have a fun time, if you really don't care about what happens, Recruit can lead to a bunch of fun moments. But least favorite operator on offense, I gotta give it to Montagne. Outside of Terrorist Hunt, he's not very helpful. Because Caveira just loves to hide around that corner, and then just one suppressed shot to the back of the head. Down goes Monty. Now, in Terrorist Hunt, you and I both know exactly what can happen there. That's a funny, that's a hilarious time. They just pile in front, especially if you're on bomb, because bomb in Terrorist Hunt is quite difficult because the enemies keep respawning, and then they'll storm into the room, and like it's bad. But like if you have Montagne on bomb Terrorist Hunt, you can just stick down the diffuser, put your shield up, and then every time one of them will come up and be like defuse, you can just smack him in the face with your shield. Can't do much. So that's kind of fun.
It's good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to give it to Monty. In multiplayer, even in casual, he's pretty useless. In competitive modes, don't even try it, man. It's not worth it. Yeah. Alright. And then 4 they're people with the LMG. I did this with some mutual friends of ours, and we were playing Siege, and then there was another person there, but I can't remember who it was. It was 2 mutual friends of ours that I will not name for privacy reasons, and we ended up doing that. You weren't there that time. This was before I got you Siege. We have done it before, but this time it was on the Brazilian map where it's like Fuse is in like a wonderland of just mission failed, you killed the terrorist. I mean, not the terrorist, the hostage. Because you can fuse pretty much everywhere on that map. It's insane. And they were in a particularly small room. So we all run up, and then Fuse goes up the wall, and we all go up right on the doors on both sides, 2 on each side. So then Fuse fuses the room, and then he blows a breaching charge and goes in. And then me and 2 guys come in one side, other 2 guys go in the other. And none of us aimed down sights. None of us aimed down sights. Because there was no need to. It was a tiny room. There were 2 defenders dead already. We just walked in, smoke grenades were thrown, and we just kind of held down the trigger, sprayed and prayed. I actually did get a kill off of it, but then I got shot in the back of the head by a teammate in an accident. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it was still entertaining. It was. Okay. I have a question. So have you heard of the open wall concept in Rainbow Six Siege? Alright. Pretty much it's when you take operators with shotguns or explosives on the defending team, and then just blow open the objective room. Like, leave no wall standing. Is that a strat or not? Or is that just a meme? What would you say? Do you think that would actually work, or is it just more of a meme?
Well, I think it's
yeah.
Yesterday, some guys started.
First of all, that was because the guys sucked. And to be honest, we were doing pretty bad that day too, so it's not even entirely their fault. But I do believe either me or you was like last one standing repeatedly.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, so we stay.
Yeah.
But, okay, cool. I can see why. I can see because you can't hide. But at the same time, say.
Neither can you.
Right. Say you're in a corner and multiple right something. So while you're. So.
Alright. Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit more context due to the open wall strat. Pretty much the open wall strat is they blow open all the walls and then they leave the objective room. And like they hide in rooms that are close to it so that when the enemy comes in, they'll have like angles to see pretty much the entire room. On one hand, it actually does make some tactical sense. But like on the other hand, the amount of... I personally think it's more of a meme. I think it's more of a joke. Because although it could be executed, it would require pretty much both Maestro and Alibi. Because in order to get the walls down fast enough, you need to have both AA-12s. Maybe if you had Maestro, Alibi, and then Castle Pulse and a Recruit, and Castle Pulse and Recruit all having the M104, whatever the American shotgun is. M1014, thank you. Sorry for anybody who used that gun in service and just got offended over the fact that I forgot its name. Yeah. Yeah. I could see maybe getting it open within a reasonable amount of time to do so. That could work. And it would also be a indirect counter to fuse, because you can't fuse a room if there's nothing to fuse. So, like, to a limited extent I can see it, but the practicality of it requires a lot of ammunition to be spent, and 2 operators, at least, being pretty much useless at any sort of range, because then I'll, because then you'd have to run the Kratos on Alibi and Maestro, and although it's a good revolver, it's not a replacement for their long-range weapons. It just wouldn't do as well. Right. Alright, so how edgy should we get here? Because there's a topic that I kind of wanted to talk about that's been coming up actually as a bit of controversy within the gaming community. But I'm not quite sure if we should. Alright, let's go edgy. Alright. I want to talk about the whole women in Battlefield 5 thing. Now, I'm of the opinion that the people that are complaining about it are absolute morons. I'm not going to mince words here. If you're genuinely complaining about women being in a video game where there's a guy with a robot hand, and then to claim not to be sexist, you've left the ballpark and the realm of possibility. Like, you've suspended belief too far. First of all, if you know anything about history, although they didn't serve in the British Army, which is what they're complaining about, women in the British Army, well, that we know of. That's not inherently true. World War II is kind of the beginning of what I would say is, like, the government actually, like, hiding stuff from us when it comes to that war, to being at war. And even in World War I, there was some of that. Well, they've been doing it since the war, since wars. But, like, they've been doing it on a bigger scale since then, and we only know that because they've declassified information. There could have been female operatives in World War II within British Special Forces. We don't know that to be false or true. And let's even go about outside the realm of possible government classified information. Let's go within the realm of historical context, things that we know happened. The French resistance was primarily women. And the Russian army extensively used women as snipers and engineers in the army, because most of the men were already dead. That tends to happen when you say, alright, so give the first guy in the line a gun, have the next guy in the line have a gun, have the third guy in the line have a gun, but the rest of them back. No guns for them, and have them have to pick it up, and have the guy... Okay, so have the first guy in line have a gun, next guy in line have ammunition, third guy in line have absolutely nothing. Yeah. So, that's my whole take on that. I think that... Now, okay. I have defended supporters of Gamergate for a while on the internet. Not on YouTube, but on Twitter, I believe, is the main place I've done it. And in personal rants and vents. And I'm quite disappointed with the gaming community on this one. I'm quite disappointed with my fellow gamer. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that's like, no, our game's sexist. Yeah, that's true. I'm just disappointed that the group that I thought of the people that we kind of found out were sexist, that took it a little bit too far back in the Anita Sarkeesian days, were a relatively small group. There's a lot more people than I expected. Like, I'm disappointed in the amount of people that there are. Not that they exist. I knew that they existed. But there's a lot more of them than I expected. And I'm quite upset by that. And the same thing happened with Call of Duty World War II. There's a lot of people that complained about black female Nazi soldiers. First of all, you can customize your character. So, fuck you. Pretty much all I have to say to that. Fuck you. Don't be a dipshit.
mean, there that have an issue. As they would say.
Even still, that's still a personal reason that they're trying to hide as historical accuracy. It's a video game. It's not supposed to be historically accurate.
That's exactly. It's not something.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? There was one YouTuber, and like he made a video talking about let's politicize video games. And then a few weeks later, he made a video talking about how Call of Duty World War II was SJW crap. Now, my whole take on that is if you call for video games to be made politicized, and it's not politicized the way you want, and then you talk about SJWs in a negative way, you're doing the exact same thing they are. Like, I'm not getting into social justice here. To be honest, because I no longer care. I don't care. The whole culture war is just bafflingly stupid. But that's beside the point. If anything, I'd say I'm more on their side now, because the way that the anti-culture warriors have acted. But again, that's beside the point. I didn't want to get political, but never mind. And I find it really funny because, like, most of the gaming companies are located in California. So why the actual fuck would you think that companies that are they're mainly located in one of the most blue states is going to give you a conservative game? You had to see that coming. You had to see that coming, right? You bet. Now, I am not opposed to politicizing video games. But I think it needs to, A, be done right, and I don't mean it needs to take my side. Honestly, I think it needs to not worry about appeasing if it should so choose to be political. I think it should stick to its guns. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It needs to stick to its guns. It needs to be ballsy about it. It needs to actually put effort in. So, yeah. And Battlefield 1, one thing I didn't appreciate is the fact that you couldn't customize your character. I wish you could have done that. I'm not gonna lie, I would have just put a helmet on all of them, but that's beside the point. Like, that's the extent of what I would have done. But it would have been nice to have some sort of customization, but that's beside the point. There was another point I wanted to go on with this, but I can't even remember what it was. Oh, yes I do, The Last of Us 2. Alright, so have you played the first The Last of Us?
I watched that.
I've played a little bit of it, and I will say, it's one of the story-driven games that, like, I really liked the combination of gameplay and story. I thought it worked well. And The Last of Us 2 is coming out, and there's a lot of people that are pretty upset because it turns out Ellie's a lesbian. Really? Okay. Okay. That's good to know. Perhaps they ignored it, thinking it wasn't canon or something like that. But anyway. So, talking about that, but it's one of those points where you just kind of facepalm and you go, seriously? And Bunty King, and he made a video, and he was with another guy, Chris Reagan, and they described it best. All the neckbeards came out today and started complaining. And yeah, stupid people. The internet allows stupid people to act like they're smart. They love to act like they're smart, and it's just, please go away. Alright, so now that we're more talking about the internet rather than video games themselves, do we want to transition to some YouTube stuff for a little bit? Talk about some of that? Alright, so what kind of stuff do you watch YouTube-wise? Alright. Alright. I do watch a lot of gaming videos. But I do listen to a lot of music. Now let's talk about biggest falling YouTuber. Like, YouTuber that was good and then went to utter crap. Let's see what we're both thinking. Tobuscus? Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, he's actually just recently started uploading again. Yeah. For me, it's either oh boy. Yeah, I was about to say this guy. Does he even upload anymore? Yeah. Alright. So for me, it's gonna... I'm hesitant to say Sky, because to be completely honest, his Minecraft content got bad near the end. But, like, I really did enjoy his general gaming content. I thought he kept it fresh up until when he quit. I really stopped watching his gaming stuff because it was mostly do not laughs, and the jokes were... There's only so much you can do with jokes in Minecraft. And, but I thought the rest of his content actually was pretty fresh. So I don't really want to say that. But Skydoes Minecraft as a channel entity itself really kind of went downhill. But Adam as a commenter, I think, still had a lot of talent and skill in him when he left. And he's uploading again a bit. And I watch some of his stuff, and I still think he's a pretty entertaining guy. Although I'm not a fan of his music, to be completely honest. I mean, I don't mind rap, so, like, I don't mind his stuff. And, but, like, rap isn't my style of music, but, like, I'll listen to it. So his stuff's alright. But my biggest one's got to be Vanoss, man. I remember laughing so hard until my sides hurt when I used to watch him, man. And now his content is just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah. Another YouTuber I want to talk about is Louis Berry. Oh my god. Like, he's an asshole. Like in real life, he's an asshole. Because people just ask him to upload. Like, they tell him, I want to see more videos, and then he gets all defensive and says, fuck you guys, I don't have to upload if I don't want to. It's just like, dude, we just want to see more of your content because you're one of the more entertaining ones of Vanoss's group. Alright. Yeah. Alright. So, Mark's a good YouTuber. I don't really watch Jack. PewDiePie, I think he's gotten into. I think he's another one of those ones that's kind of fallen a bit. But I think. All right, Josh. I'm getting some feedback that your stream's that you're pretty quiet on stream. I'm just getting told that you can barely be heard, so I'm not too concerned about it. We may do this repeatedly, in which like we just kind of get on and we just kind of chat about stuff that's going on. This could become, yeah. So we'll be able to fix stuff as we go along. So I'm not. This is more like a pilot episode for us to figure out how people respond. You laugh, you lose. You know, I enjoy it a little bit because, like, in a sense, he's almost mocking the reaction channels. Like, what's the one guy? There's one specific guy that I'm thinking about, but I can't remember his name. Oh God, I don't care. And he's kind of making fun of it, but like while still having these same issues of a reaction channel. Like, he's still taking some content and using it for his own gain, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, so... Oh, sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say,
Amnesia? Yeah, oh yeah. Oh man. Alright, I have to either let my cat in or close my door, because he's trying to get in. And that's obnoxious. Alright, so you keep this stream going before we all die.
as far as some stuff watching same where the reaction changes just take years and at times can be fun.
If it seems genuine, it can often be pretty funny.
Yeah. A lot of times that I see it's just there.
Yeah, like, it's okay, Cat, you cannot be here. Cat, you cannot be here. Okay, Cat. I'm sorry, but you were too loud to be there. Go. Go. I am not doing this in my room. My computer's out in the rest of the house, which makes this a problem. I may have to go shut him in my room. But no, it looks like he's gone away for now, so that'll be okay. Alright. We may have another person joining us tonight. That'd be our good old friend DJ. Yeah. You might have to be the one that sent her the link, though, because my phone's on 10%. It's almost dead. Because you are doing this on your phone, which would make it actually easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you may have a third person getting on this stream, folks. This could become a party. Alright. Okay, so I have a question. How much do you know about, like, YouTube drama? Like,
I used to file just did
okay. Right, have you heard of, Tanacon?
sounds familiar. Series film.
Okay, so Tana Mongeau, who is a YouTuber that, if you didn't know her, you purely knew because iDubbbz trolled her and said some iDubbbzy things to her. And, yeah. And then it came out she was worse about it than he was. There were some videos of her saying some specific racial slurs, hard R, with context that did not make it look pretty. Like, iDubbbz at least has a half of an excuse to say that, like, he's doing it just to point out the hypocrisy of the fact that this word is held above all others. And to a very, very, very little extent, I kind of sympathize with what he's going for, but at the same time, I don't care enough about it to think that I don't care enough about it to justify a societal change from it to be at the level that it is. I think that a better way to go about getting rid of the word, of its potency, is to leave it alone, let it die, forget about it.
That's how
Now, that's not my typical response to things that I disagree with. That's actually, it's more, most of the time I take a more head-on approach and more wanting to kind of illustrate it as stupid. But for this specific instance, I'm going to say this one's one that we just let die. just it will eventually lose the potency that it has, and eventually the word will be forgotten into the sands of forgotten words.
If left, so many friends, just how it is. Something.
Stupid people keep bringing it back. Let it die.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
And then just gets dug up.
Sorry, I'm just laughing about the one time that the instance in which we were at a concert and one of our friends decided to sing a particular song for jazz band.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. That dude's a good hangman. Anyway, so yeah, so pretty much TanaCon was when she didn't get invited to VidCon, she got pissed, and so she decided to set up her own little meetup, and yeah, she did,
Oh no.
but everybody got pissed at her because it was nothing like she promised it was going to be. There were a bunch of people that ended up getting severely dehydrated because they had to wait in line because they weren't ready for as many people that showed up, and they didn't have enough water for everybody. And then a bunch of the people that she promised were going to show up never showed up.
It's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Still spell.
Everybody wanted their money back. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on YouTube continuing its policy of saying "fuck you" to YouTube creators?
That's just bad.
Yeah.
The whole thing just bad.
Yeah. Let's. Have you heard about the newest one?
I don't think so.
They're gonna pick random users. You have no choice if they pick you. In which videos you upload will no longer have a custom thumbnail. It'll just put a random image there. A random YouTube experiment.
It's an experiment.
I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I'm gonna put it as they put it in their tweet announcing it. YouTube experiment. And then the founder of YouTube decides to create a YouTube channel rather than, I don't know, focus on fixing YouTube? Well, no, YouTube creators, the CEO of YouTube, sorry. YouTube creators dipped. They left a while back. If you didn't know. YouTube hasn't always been owned by Google kids. Google owning everything is only a recent development. Soon enough, there's going to be three possibilities of owning something. If it's tech, it's going to be Google. If it's entertainment, it's going to be Disney. If it's selling something, if it's selling the products of the entertainment or food or anything, it's going to be Amazon. Anyway, Anyway, getting out of talking about corporations becoming our overlords. It's gonna be fucking Wally soon enough.
Oh, I see.
That was a good fucking movie. Okay. Yeah.
And saying this is connected.
They're bugs. They are bugs. What the hell?
And it was really strange.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Disney theory is quite strange, yet oddly compelling. Like, you just kind of look at that and you go, I don't want to think that's true, but I'm beginning to think that's true. Ah. Oh. Anyway, okay. So, yeah. What we're talking about before disturbing Disney theories? And does it matter? Probably not. Oh, Tanacon. We were talking about Tanacon.
Yeah, that's
All right. I think it might be better if we just talk about internet theories for a little bit. Let's talk about them. From, like, innocent theories such as the connected universe theory to Alex Jones conspiracy theories. The internet's a great place to spread ideas that if you did anywhere in public, you'd either be locked in a loon asylum or just looked at like you're an idiot. All right.
an interesting.
Earth is flat.
Did I tell you at one point?
I believe that we're living inside the Earth. Oh, okay. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I have proof. Oh, God. People are fucking retarded.
It so stuff.
Have you ever met an Australian before? No, because they don't exist. This is painful. This hurts. This hurts.
Guy I want to say this.
But that's just it. He's in on the conspiracy. I don't fucking know why they're hiding it, but they're hiding it.
So
That explains a lot about Australians.
it's island itself to hide. He just said
Why would that be necessary?
in a place called I don't know.
This was the 1800s. This was the 1800s. People had no quarrels with you killing inmates. It was expected. It was expected for you to shoot him in the back of the head, for fuck's sake. This conspiracy theory makes no sense.
And it's basically saying, you know, trying to agreements with that it's genocide. Back then, it's like, why is this like, why?
Have you ever heard of communism? It's an economic policy that usually leads to totalitarian dictatorships or anarchy. Either way, lots of fucking people die. They aren't. Trust me. I know you know. Alright. You know what? Let me look up the population of England. Let me just see how feasible it is for them to get higher than 100 million people. Alright, let's find that out. Ooh, they should just got her thing working. Yeah. So she may be joining us. Un momento. That is not what the right thing to say. I said 1 minute. One minute, I think. I hope. Please. I'm not taking Spanish. I'm taking French. I don't know why I do that. Please help. Alright. As of 2011, in order for that to be the greatest mass murder, the population of England would have had to have been twice as much as it is now. Because there's only 50 million people in England. Let's be a little bit more specific. Let's give them a little bit more generosity. Because that only counted the thing of England. Okay, that helped very little. That helps very little. That is... Alright, so... It's 65 million people in the UK today, alright? Alright, and he muted his mic. Okay. But just for the viewers here. In order for that to be true, Stalin and Mao in combination killed around 100 million people. That's like a low estimate. Some people say Mao killed 121 million by himself. Now, in order for you to be like, that's a lot of people, China has 1 billion people right now, so it's not too infeasible to stick a couple million dead bodies on there. Yeah, I was just talking about the fact that this conspiracy theory is utterly true, because in order... Alright, so as long as you could hear. So 65 million people in England, well, not in England, the UK, because there is a difference, one of which is a... Pretty much it's just a state in the UK, and the other one's the entire UK. But the UK would have had to have... Let's see, population of UK in prison. Right. That's like a minuscule number. Holy crap. 148 out of every 100,000.
Oh wow.
Like, alright, that's not a tiny number. When it comes to prison inmates, that's actually kind of bad, actually. Looking at the other numbers, but let's divide that. That's like 0.14%. So in order for it to be more than 100 million, let's give them the best benefit of a doubt. Times 1.148. The population would have had to been 114,800,000 for that to be true. Which means that in both world wars, they would have had to lost 50 million people. And they didn't lose that many. Unless, of course, you're going to say the government's hiding that too, and then you're a fucking idiot. Alright, let me get her in on this conversation, because I think she might actually have some stuff to add here. I'm not sure, but she could add some pretty cool stuff, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll invite members. Let me share a link with her through this. Alright, she has the link, so she should so choose to join us, she can.
Yes.
Alright, so do you have any things that you think a lot of people, conspiracy-wise, would disagree with? Do you have any interesting views on certain things? Any things that you think were cover-ups? I'm just using that as an example. I'm thinking if you...
So you want something?
Yeah.
Kind of like the one I was talking about.
Are you about to fucking tell me? Are you about to tell me that you don't believe fucking Australia exists? You motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie, if you say something really dumb, I'm going to mess with you the entirety of Bandcamp over this.
That's tough. It's gotta be something.
Yeah, like, and if you don't have any, then that's completely fine.
I do.
Okay.
It's
Oh, are you gonna talk about the alien thing? Which one? I'm gonna text it to you.
okay.
Which one?
Okay, that's not exactly. But
Oh, okay, okay.
okay. So yeah, let's talk about this.
Okay.
So you are have your beliefs.
I do.
Well, I have. But they're not exactly because it's more I. That kind of so
You think it's true, but you don't know it's true.
um, that's kind of cool.
Careful, Josh. We don't want to get too edgy here. We don't want to get too much on the edge.
To be fair, that's just a different. It's just a different word.
I did not substantially put the sarcasm in my voice.
But so um,
Oh, she is in here. Alright, let's get her into the, let's sort of join the voice chat. Alright, let's get her to join the voice chat. Alright. She'll see that and it'll be fine. Ooh, excuse me. Oh boy. Alright.
So,
Spit it out, man. What's your absurd belief? I'm sorry. Okay.
very interesting. Again, this isn't something I believe, but it's an interesting idea. It's some people, and I thought it very interesting. It was the guy Kennedy went to space and kind of started.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what they want. Kind of ancient race. Sort of characters. Saw that. There were things like explained, and then that sort of seeded on a certain planet. There was life that was shared. Kind of something that was there.
Oh, Deja, please use push to talk. Please use push to talk. Oh God. Mute your mic. Okay, thank you. Unmute your mic whenever you're going to talk. So, anyway, right.
It's an interesting one. It kind of, the author of this book sort of, sort of a sci-fi event, saying that the god that created it was this race of, which culminated but sort of and sort of a trial and error. Trying this year and something change. So this is my perfect.
Okay. So, like, it's a giant cosmic experiment. Alright. Alright, so you can hear us. So go ahead and take your time, and if you ever do want to, let me type that, let me get out of that. If you ever feel like, speaking up, saying something, then go ahead and unmute yourself and say what you gotta say. And then work on getting it on your phone, because it'll work, like, infinitely better than on a, laptop with a built-in mic.
That's true.
But yeah, for my answer for that, I'm not going to say that I have any weird conspiracy theory beliefs, although, actually, you know my particular beliefs on certain things, and I think some people would find them conspiracy-esque. But I would not say that it is a conspiracy theory, because it's not really the nature of trying to cover something up. It's more so just, I don't know. I'm trying not to get into my specific beliefs because I don't want to make it about that. But I do more like thought experiments. Like, I don't believe certain things, but like I'll think over what if this is true.
That's okay.
Like, I'll do plenty of thought experiments, but to be honest, I don't really get convinced by things. Like, an interesting thought experiment for me is, what if JFK's assassination was a conspiracy? I don't believe it was. I wholeheartedly believe that JFK was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, who acted alone out of a desperate attempt to be recognized as a devout communist in an attempt to get into Cuba. I believe that's why he did it. And I believe that I believe he acted alone. I don't believe the mob had anything to do with it. I don't believe the CIA had anything to do with it. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to think about if, I like to think if anybody else could have a motive. Or, like, if there's any evidence to prove that they did. And JFK conspiracy theorists will list off a bunch of information. A lot of the times they'll kind of misrepresent certain things. Specifically, there's the famous film of JFK getting his head blown off. Like, they'll kind of misrepresent the timing in order to kind of get rid of the 3 bullets fired. They'll use slightly off clips of timing to say, oh, this guy was crying out in pain before he could have cried out in pain from getting shot through Kennedy's neck, or something like that. And I'm not convinced by the theory, to be completely honest, because honestly, it all kind of makes sense to me. But that's beside the point. I've never had a thought experiment of thinking the Earth is flat, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, maybe to a schizophrenic it might. And although I'm not calling anybody who believes in a flat Earth schizophrenic, I'm saying that you're thinking like one.
So an experiment. So sail some
You should be able to see China.
just that way. If there's anything flat, you should not. This is how you sail back. Because
Great. Alright. Well, they're just having some technical issues. She's trying to get into the voice chat on her phone, I guess. I mean, it's not too difficult, but, like, she's just having trouble doing it. Wait, no. I have a conspiracy theory that I half-ish believe. Mark Zuckerberg is actually a robot. I don't actually believe that. That's just a meme. That's just a joke. He's a lizard peep. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. You know, he wants to run. He wants to run for president. No, I would not vote for the Zuck.
Let's try and get our own.
All right. I'm gonna tell her how to. All right, there we go. That's how you're gonna do it on the app. Oh, hey, look, she's in here. All right. All right, perfect. All right, there you go. Ooh, and that's actually some not bad quality there too. All right. I mean, even still, like, it's not working too bad. But all right. So we've been talking for almost 2 hours now. Oh, wow. Anyway, so we started off talking.
I know.
Okay, so you know we were talking about like video conspiracy theories, right?
Conspiracy theories, TanaCon. Those are my types of things to talk about. You guys are just sitting there talking about them when I can't do it.
All right. Well, we're still talking about conspiracy theories, so you can throw in your 2 cents on there. Do you have any weird conspiracy theories you believe?
There is like on Mars.
I wouldn't say that's really a conspiracy theory.
It's Howard. It's Howard.
That's hold on. Why is the first? Oh, black shirt.
Right, like exactly. Like science has said that there might be some form, or might have been some form of life on Mars. But I would say to say that's a conspiracy theory would have to be like UFOs type stuff, like coming down and abducting people kind of stuff.
Say something.
Ooh.
Say this. Experiment. To something like Mars and have been. So to make sure specifically start all like and that's why certain or if say something system that went just blow the star.
All right. All right. So Deja, I'm guessing you heard my whole going in and debunking the Australia doesn't exist. It's just a cover up for the biggest mass murder in all of history, right? All right. Wait a sec. Yo, so I just realized I did my math all wrong for that. I just realized that that would not have been the population. How do I? Okay, so I figured this is hard. Like, would that have been the population that would have had to be in? Okay, so if it has to be 100 million, right? Okay, so it's x times 0.148% equals 100 million. That would have had to been the population. 100 million divided by 0.148. Holy fuck. I think this is in scientific notation. I don't even, that doesn't make too much sense. Could you divide 100 million by 0.148? Divide 100 million by 0.148, because I'm working off an iPhone calculator and it's acting weird. And, like, the number doesn't make sense, because when you divide... Wait. Would you even divide? What the hell? I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. I can't figure out how to do the math because I'm being an idiot right now. But let's just say it would be a huge fucking number. For
675, 67,567.
would that be like how you did the math though? Would that be how you did the math though? Does that make sense mathematically? Because if it does, then... And this was like after America had already been colonized, so they don't even have that excuse. Like, oh, they all went over to America. No. Oh my God, that would mean that over the course of that would mean that. Holy crap, that would mean like hundreds of millions of people would have had to die to be at the population that Britain is at now, and like not reproduce. Alright. So, Deja, since we're talking about conspiracy theories, is there any conspiracy theory that you'd like to bring to light that we can marvel at the stupidity of human beings for? Don't play him over your speaker, please. Not only do I not like him, I don't want YouTube to be like, hey, fuck you. But, okay. But why though? Like, I don't have enough battery for that on my phone, and I can't do it on my computer because I'm just capturing my screen. No, couldn't do it. I can't even see that. Like, to be completely honest, they look completely different. They act completely different. They've both... Justin Bieber has enough of a social life online that him existing at the same time as Post Malone being in a stardom doesn't make any sense. Like, I know he's not big in, like, music-wise right now, because, well, he's not. but he's active enough on social media to make coexisting as Post Malone and doing all the stuff Post Malone's doing near impossible. So timeline, it doesn't really work. Now, if Justin Bieber just disappeared off the map, then Post Malone came about. Then when Post Malone disappeared off the map, Justin Bieber came back. We might have a point to actually talk about this and be like, huh, that's odd. And if Post Malone looked a little bit more like Justin Bieber, or Justin Bieber looked a little bit more like Post Malone. But unless, of course, the conspiracy involves the fact that either the body of Justin Bieber is that everybody knows is actually not the real Justin Bieber, but he's been active since he was like a teenager, so that doesn't make any sense. Or the body of Post Malone that everybody knows is not the real body of Post Malone, then that actually does make a little bit more sense, because musically, one's fallen off the map early and the other one's popped up. But I still wouldn't believe that. That would be a more believable conspiracy theory. I'd be like, I can kind of understand why you'd believe that, but don't believe that personally. Alright, so what's the other one? Oh, man, she's gone. Oh, you said you kind of implied that there was multiple conspiracy theories that you want to talk about. I don't even know who you're talking about, so okay. I don't listen to K-pop, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm glad you didn't. Alright. Another stupid conspiracy theory that's less amusing and more depressing. The child sex colony on Mars. The cat go. There's a conspiracy theory that NASA has a child sex colony on Mars. This is the part where we all slow clap and then pull out the cyanide and drink the Kool-Aid. To be completely honest, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think it is this right. I don't want to get political, but yet I kind of have to. It's this hardcore Tea Party-esque right-wing push trying to discredit NASA, because NASA's come out in support of being like, hey, climate change is a thing, guys. We really need to do something. And I think it might have an attempt to discredit that, and I agree it is real. If you think it's all a conspiracy theory of big science, you're an idiot. Now, the only reason I'm trying to avoid getting political is not because I really care about getting political, more because I don't want to do nothing but political. Because, you know me, I'm a very political person. I have lots of political opinions, some of them more radical than others. Anyway, So I think that might have something to do with it. Or perhaps people are just off their pills and think that there's actually NASA's kidnapping children, taking them up to Mars, and they're doing bad things to them. Yeah. The amount of conspiracy theorists that we've made upset, if they ever watch this video, is just absurd. I'm the one who's going to be the fall guy here. I'm the one who's going to be a fall guy here, even though I have your channel linked in the description. So if they really, really hate you, they can come after you. You are... Yes, you fucking do.
No, really though, it's just...
Not all of them are equal, and not all of them are intelligent.
True.
Alright, now I'm going to quote Dave Rubin here. Now, I have not very good opinions of Dave Rubin, but, again, getting political, I'm not a huge fan of him. As a commentator, I shall say, I don't have too much of a problem with him personally. He doesn't seem like an asshole, but as a commentator, I think he is disingenuous. I'm going to quote him here, because this is actually something that we do agree on. If your ideas can't withstand the marketplace of free ideas, you really shouldn't hold it. And I modified the quote, but that's how I would say it. Pretty much, if your idea can't stand the heat of the internet, get off the internet. So, yeah. Alright. I think we've kind of dwelled on the insanity that is conspiracy theories a bit too long. Do we want to go back to video games now that Deja's here? Maybe she can help us think of some new stuff. Okay, let's go back to video games because that's something that we all enjoy. All right. So, quick question. All right, continue, guys. Oh yeah, it's they also have suppressed SMG still, but the SMG is beast. The SMG is a beast, by the way. So if you get it. Anyway, speaking of Fortnite, you actually reminded me of a topic I wanted to cover earlier, and that is Battle Royale. And not so much just the topic of Battle Royale itself. This also can be applied to loot boxes and other things that have forced their way into games in which they really don't belong. At least that's my opinion. But let's talk about the concept of adding Battle Royale to Battlefield 5 and the Call of Duty Black Ops 4. What are all of our thoughts? Ew? Okay. Deja, are you still here? Are you still with us? Alright. What are your thoughts on that? Fortnite! No. More specifically, adding Battle Royale to games such as Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And other games where that doesn't just games outside of purely Battle Royale games. Okay, so you said something about Black Ops 4 combining all the characters. I have no idea if that's true. I don't file Call of Duty news anymore, so I'm not going to say that you're wrong or anything because I don't know. Yeah, I think that. Okay, again, I don't know. So, and I'm not saying I don't know about it. I'm saying I have no idea if you're. I have no idea. I literally don't know, and I don't really care. But I think battle royale as a topic is becoming rapidly overused very quickly. I think it's one of those things where like it's a good cash grab, but like it's not really okay. So Fortnite's a fun game to play with your friends, but Fortnite Battle Royale isn't a good game. PUBG is fun to play with your friends, and it's a better game than Fortnite, but I would still not call it a good complete game. Now both games are enjoyable. I'm not going to say they're not fun, and to be honest, well, that's not true. Sometimes Fortnite can be quite unpleasant, and considering the fact that this PC cannot run PUBG for the life of it, it's not always very fun. So the whole fun thing comes back. Yeah, it's fun for a while, but like eventually it's just gonna get boring. Like it just does. And same thing with loot boxes. Like loot boxes really don't fit into Rainbow Six Siege in my opinion. I think that they should get rid of the loot crates or whatever they're called, and I think they should lower the cost of everything down, but not by too much.
It takes a while.
Right. And like I still understand them wanting to have money in it, but like that's beside the point. And in Star Wars Battlefront 2, like from what I've heard, the game's pretty much dead now because of the nature of the loot box system. Like it killed the game. You know what? That's true. EA in general has a problem with microtransactions. You got something to say there, DJ? Ooh, okay. Fortnite. I'm just sitting here talking to you people, so. You were playing Destiny and then you got bored of Destiny, so you switched over to Fortnite.
Yeah.
That.
I just say, subject is
And overused topics in general.
this topic. It takes a lot.
Oh my god. I have another complaint about Fortnite. Fix the hit registration. For fuck's sake. It got broke. So bad. Like, I've watched shots miss me, and then I lose over half my health. I'm like, I watched that sniper shot whiz past me. I jumped over it, and now I'm still in large amounts of pain.
It's broken.
It's broke right now. It's broke worse than I've ever seen it before. Like, well, I guess like Battlefield Hardline levels of broke at launch. Because at the end they fixed it. They did fix it at the end. But that's beside the point. Alright.
Here's one thing Battle Royale. Something said. Is it gonna be reversible?
I have actually seen some That's not entirely true. There's a game that came out, and it actually was a free-to-play one. It was made by the same company of a game called Crisis, and Crisis was known as being ahead of its time because it had like this massive open world, right? We're talking about the same one, right? Yeah, and like this was a couple years. This was like way back, and like it was super ahead of its time. Well, they made another game. It's a shooter, and like it's co-op, right? And there is a battle royale, and the map is not very big, but like it's only like 8 or so players. They could go that route, where like it's only a few players and they land in a relatively small area.
I could see I could definitely see that.
I would see Call of Duty making a larger map than they've ever made for the Battle Royale mode, but I would not see them going to a large map. I would say Battlefield's probably going to follow a similar path and maybe make it a 16-player mode, possibly 32 mode. Or maybe they're going to make it a full 64-player and have it on like a huge map.
That's how. And I guess I never.
Oh, yeah.
So I could definitely see that. How is it going?
It's gonna be snipers fucking us up the ass.
Let's be honest with ourselves. If for any open distance, if you run across it, you're going to get shot in the head by a sniper.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
You thought fucking snipers in Fortnite were bad. You ain't seen shit yet.
No. The worst feeling is when you're running across a field and then you see the glint of the scope. Because then you just know. Well, just, and the soldier just pulls out, pen and paper. Well, Mama, I see the glint of a sniper scope. I'm fucked. Goodbye. It's a dog and a house is on fire. It's like, yeah, this is fine. Deja, copyright. That is not true. That is not true. Any amount of a copyrighted song could be copyrighted. Yeah, really. Josh, your mic's going into cyborg mode. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, I think we're good. Some technical difficulties. Discord's like, fuck. Alright, so since Deja mentioned music, do we want to talk about some music? Some musical music? Or do we have other things about video games we want to talk about?
Um,
I mean, there's a few more things I could touch on, but like to be honest, we don't have to. Like, the relevance of single player games and EA EA get it. I don't know. Just the relevance of single player games because
um, I think very relevant
and I would agree. Like
because
the reason I bring it up is because there was an EA spokesperson recently that said, oh no, gamers don't really want single player games. They want multiplayers. They want battle royale. Yeah, right.
it's
Right. Like,
so great 76 can't work if it is. I'm pretty sure it's
yeah, it's only multiplayer.
too simple. There's some oh yeah, these guys mad about this. I want to.
Okay.
I want to have if I want to, that's great. Especially this game. Spend 6 days and then some great seconds. I saw a guy post and just
XXX Pussy Destroyer 6969 has destroyed your base.
that's why I want an option for single.
That'd be like that'd be like if Mojang came out with a game and it was literally just Minecraft, but it's all one world, and there is no option to to play by yourself. Like that would literally be what it would be.
Honestly, I just want that for full life. It's just like
Really? Okay.
could destroy it. It's kind of settlements. Settlements.
Yeah.
So it's nice to survive. Drink stuff like that. Is what spiced it up. That's
You could become Superman, and then you could punch everything.
I did become super.
One punch. Ooh. All right. So just a caveat for the whole Fallout conversation. I don't play Fallout, so anybody who's just like, oh, how would you not know that you could do a lot of building in Fallout 4? I don't play the games. I never got into them really. You've told me numerous times, and I still haven't really bothered to pick one up. I played Fallout 3 until like I got out of the bunker, and then I just went, oh, I completely forgot you exist now. Really? Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's that. And I completely forgot what I was gonna say when you started talking about Fallout 3. Crap. Yeah. Oh darn. My not entertaining statement was gonna be not entertaining. Oh sigh. Deja, say something so that the conversation won't die.
Yes.
Perfect.
Stop. Cease. The superior llama is llamas with hats.
Why don't we talk about we all have something bad?
I mean, we all have something vaguely in common for like a lot of things. Alright, so I just looked up and I just saw 30 of today's top Christian artists and hits. Let me take a look at what this bad boy's got on it. Yeah. Oh, this one has God's Not Dead by the Newsboys. There's a movie out, and I've watched the movie. That is insensitive. Excuse me. This is child friendly.
This is a child-friendly server. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Don't.
Shut the fuck up. Family-friendly content. Now shut the fuck up, sit down, and shut your goddamn mouth.
Hey.
I am sorry.
Watch your profanity.
Oh God. Alright. Music. Let's talk about music. My boy Josh, what have you been listening to?
March 22nd, 20. Honestly, so, got into music.
Reggae. My girlfriend's gonna fucking kill you.
It's interesting. Some songs I like.
It's dubstep, but drums.
I mean, songs that. So I
Okay, so Deja, what have you been listening to as of late?
Well, I was listening to all of it, but I can't say. Four Horsemen, best new perfect Metallica song.
Ooh. Ooh.
So bad.
spaces.
I believe I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But okay. So you've mentioned this a couple times. March 23rd, 2013. 22nd, 2013. What does that have to do with anything? I'm guessing by Deja screaming that it has to do something with Yeah. Oh. All right. So yeah. So obviously we all listened to MCR. Listened, cause I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to them in a while, man. Yeah, like
I just pressed today.
It's a sad song.
that is not even close. Cancer is way sadder.
It's true.
All right.
Let's talk about cancer. MCR cancer or TLC cancer?
Two.
I have hated them ever since. They have one chance to redeem themselves. They know what it is, and they better do it, or else I will hate them for all eternity.
They're apparently, supposedly, they've been working on a cover of "Welcome to Black Parade."
We're not doing
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay. Then they have no chance for redemption.
it because they just made a song. I personally
I utterly refuse to listen, purely due to the fact that they messed up Cancer. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, if you listen to the original and then listen to that, you're gonna be like, "The hell's wrong with these guys?" Like, I don't think that musically they have. On one hand, I think they were trying to pay homage, but I don't think they had respect for the style it was supposed to be in. I think they. I don't know. I don't appreciate their cover. I think it was bad.
Some people are trained, but
All right. No. Okay, so if you're going to put in, okay, so I haven't heard anybody really agree on what the emo trinity is, except for the fact that MCR is in it. So let's discuss that. I've heard it's I I've heard it's Deja. If please if I've heard it's been MCR, FOB, Panic. I've heard that one. Either way, all of them have completely left the genre.
I know
Don't.
they left.
Okay. I don't listen to Panic at the Disco anymore, and I only listen to Fall Out Boy's old stuff. Like, their new stuff. I will give them credit. For a marketing strategy, they have managed to stay relevant for way longer than they would have if they had stuck with one genre. They did not stick with their guns, but it's worked for them. They have sales.
Um, I do have to say, if if you ever have the chance, listen to Shadowz songs, say it because it's. I won't say it's simple stuff. It's not that far. It's
Okay.
either
it's not that.
Don't you dare say prayer for the weekend.
because dying in a leg is not for
So sad.
amazing. So that are roaring 20.
You're right.
Okay. I'm smoking a blunt and wanting to go home.
I am fairly confident
That she's quite upset with you, Josh. I'm fairly confident that she's quite offended.
You know, of course I'm upset.
Here's the thing. Just I can't. Like I like two songs. Not a
All right. It,
What's the song to?
Say, yes, it's sad. So, anyway,
To the overpass? One of the drugs?
oh,
ooh. All right. Well, Deja, I'm not gonna lie. I have not listened to any. The only song I've heard is "Pray for the Weekend," and not good. I'm not gonna lie. Not a fan. Or whatever it was song. Because that's the title of the album. I completely forget. It's the one that they played on the radio, and I don't like it.
The album was called probably okay. Better know.
So yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. It's that one. You see, I don't listen to the album. I haven't listened to the album. I haven't looked at the album. If it's that one, then yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
They killed a potato! In the scene where they Brendan Urie stabs a potato and uses that same knife on it and stabs it in the guy's head.
oh yeah.
Potato abuse. Take the potato.
You have nothing to say about Brandon Urie stabbing a man to death. Then why the hell would he stab the potato first?
They just pulled it out of the oven.
Okay. I've been listening to Rise Against, and Josh, you got me listening to Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah, I've been listening to Marilyn Manson a lot more than I used to, and I will say he's an interesting guy. Like his music's interestingly stylized. Now it's not my favorite stuff, but like it's oddly thought provoking from saying nothing at all. Does that make any sense? Like it sends you deep into thought without saying anything that, if you weren't singing it in that style, would be thought provoking. And like he's not inherently a good singer. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. He doesn't sing that great. But like I don't know. His music is intriguing. He has a unique style that I appreciate, I guess. Rise Against is my favorite right now. If you haven't listened to them, I'd highly suggest you do.
I had and I didn't.
Everybody's heard Savior. Everybody's heard Savior. It's kind of like Welcome to the Black Parade. Pretty much everybody's heard it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well then you need to get some earbuds, look it up, listen to that song. Not because it's good, although it is decent. I do believe you might have heard it, you just didn't realize. Yeah. The beautiful thing is, like, their newest album is called Wolves, and it's not perfect, but, like, it still kind of stays true to their original style. Now, the second album, which I've listened to pretty much all of their songs from, like, 2010 back, because they have an entire giant compilation of everything that they have album, and I've listened to that in its entirety. Yeah. I was playing a heist with people I didn't know, so I wasn't in a party with anybody, so I just kind of plugged my earbuds in, started listening to them, got pumped up. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. It gets your adrenaline going. And by the way, I would like to end this before midnight. All right. So we're coming to the end here. Oh, Josh's mic went AIDS a little bit. Yeah. Ish. All right.
Stop that. Stop.
All right. It's working now. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it worked. All right. So pretty much all I have to say is so they have a wide variety of music. Like, let's take the second album, which is one of my favorites. The first song is one of their heaviest on that album. It's called State of the Union. Yeah, and you know that it is. Yeah, I get. And you know that it's super heavy, right? Well, but then at the end of that album, there's another song called "Swing Life Away," and it's this really slow song, and like it's just the lead singer and an acoustic guitar. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried the first time I heard it. Not because it was sad. It's not sad at all. Actually, it has quite a positive outlook, and I think that's why I got emotional over it.
Because it's sort of just
No, I wouldn't even say that. It was just because I didn't listen to the entire album before I did so. I just happened to listen to that song, and it was just it just had a hopeful outlook, and it made me reflect on things, and it was peaceful. Yeah. All right. Well, that means I'm probably gonna end up wrapping this up pretty soon. Yeah, this was a good stream. It was nice to have you, man. All right.
So, while I was never heard of it.
Oh, really? Okay. I just found out. Okay, so everybody. Oh, okay. So Josh left, but Alex says hello. My girlfriend says hello. All right. Ooh. Okay. I need to check the live chat. All right. Oh wait, she's watching. She already knows. All right. All right. Let me check the live chat because. Oh, she's offended by me saying I don't listen to Panic at the Disco. Oh God. Anyway, so yeah. I'm gonna be wrapping this up here. Yeah. Thank you, anybody who decided to show up, being the other person in the chat and the person who said hello. And no. Wait. Oh, wait. No. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to have multiple conversations at once, but yeah. This has been a good live stream. I hope to do something like this again, possibly with more people, just having conversation about stuff. All right. Yeah, pretty much. It's like a podcast. All right. Let's see. Will this work? That's it. Did that work? Oh God. Oh God. Oh, that was disgusting. All right. Well, this is gonna suck for anybody who doesn't want it. Thing. Okay. I forgot the hotkey. God damn it.